On HorseCity.com TV, when it comes time to be at the clinic, it's always a focus on the horse's health. Pharmaceuticals, today that's our topic. Not only the pharmaceuticals, but drug compounding. And we've seen where that's caused some big problems in the equine industry, most recently in Florida. We've had some problems in Louisiana. First of all, Dr. Mike, thanks for being here with us today to talk about this important issue.
Glad to be here. And Alan, it is an important thing because a lot of times as horse owners, we do use drugs that are being compounded. And basically that's a drug that we can't buy on the market or shouldn't be able to buy on the market that's FDA approved. Now, in the case that you do get a drug compounded, you want to make sure that it's in the best interest of your horse and that it's a nice, healthy drug. And I'll give you an example. A lot of people I see sometimes will have omeprazole or treating for gastric ulcers.
Right.
Well, there's an approved drug on the market, and there's a reason there's an approved drug because they spend all the money
For research.
and they've got it approved. And when you get something that you may have bought off the shelf from somebody down the road, it's not going to work and it's not in the best interest of your horse. However, there's a number of times there are drugs that we can't get in this country that are not approved or we want to make a specific combination of that will mix up, give to our horse, and be in the best interest of that animal.
Are there any legal ramifications of drug compounding?
Well, the biggest thing that we think about sometimes, if you take Christine with Wilbur here, if we had Wilbur insured and we used a drug that was approved in this country, but we used to compound the drug instead, which might be cheaper, it might save us a few bucks, and say something happened to Wilbur, well, a lot of the insurance companies are not going to cover something like that. So we want to make sure that the drug that we're using is in the best interest of our horse.
When you talk about the best interest of the horse, is drug compounding usually associated with performance enhancement?
Well, a lot of times it is. It is the use of performance enhancement. That's not always. We'll use some medications. That, say we got a horse that we can't get something to IV because he's had some problems with that. We'll have it compounded into an oral suspension or solution that we can give orally to the horse, and it's just easier on that horse. So that's compounding too. That's always in the best interest of our horse.
So we need to take care, be careful that we know exactly what we're putting together to put inside our horses.
That's exactly right, Alan.
And talking about the drug situation, and you've been to many horse sales like I've been to horse sales and such as that, I want to talk with you just a little about using the drugs at horse sales.
Well, you got to remember, Alan, if we're going to a yearling sale, we got a bunch of yearlings running around in there. It's probably in the best interest of everybody for those that have a little bit of tranquilizer ahead of time just to help them relax. That's not unusual. Now, when you do go to those sales and you're buying performance horses, you want to ask the people up front, what is the medication on this horse? Because if he's a performance horse, he's had medications.
Oh, yeah.
So we need to find out what they are, what's in his past, whether he's had a bunch of bute or anything else. And most people, if they're good horse owners, they're going to tell you because they want you to enjoy that horse.
And it can possibly make a difference into which sales we go to and which sales we purchase.
That's right.
From.
The sale company themselves has got to be acting in the best interest of the horse owner because we're going to come back there next year, and I want people to own horses because not only is it good for what I do, but it's also just good for people. Horses are a good thing to have, and we should encourage our neighbors to have horses and not be selling them horses that may not be in their best interest.
And what would be one of the things that we could do to kind of guard ourselves and our investment? Of course, we make that our self owners pre-purchase plan on that deal and kind of do the little vet check. But as far as getting with a veterinarian possibly before we purchase a horse, you've talked about maybe pulling some blood, setting it aside.
Well, a lot of times if you purchase a horse, one of the things you can do afterward is go to the buyer or the seller's barn and have your veterinarian draw a blood sample, and you can set it aside so in case you need to have the horse tested down the road, because you may get home in 30 days and have a different horse than the day of the sale. But again, I think most people want to have their reputation, and most horse owners do have great reputations. We want to tell you up front what our horses have had, what medications they've had, so that when you get home you realize you got the same horse today that you will 30 days from now.
So key things right here is, first of all, in drug compounding, remember to just take care of what you're putting together to put inside your horse, and of course, be wary at the horse sales as well. Dr. Mike, we thank you for all the great information today about pharmaceuticals.
Thank you very much.
That's at the clinic.